I'm gonna do my February wrap up for Blackathon, Black Loveathon, the Harry Potter and the Virgins, and for the book club that I'm a part of. Anything in this video resonated with you, comment, you can timestamp wherever it resonated with you. I love it if you comment or timestamp. Either one works with me. I enjoy them both. It's real bi in the comments. So I didn't read all of the books that I wanted to read, but I still feel accomplished. I feel good. I did not get to Children of Blood and Bone. This is kind of an epic love story. Excellence and Black AF. I'm still gonna get to those. I'll definitely get to Black AF for International Women's History Month. I was considering getting to Children of Blood and Bone in March, but you know, we will see. We gonna see. I'll definitely be reading these. I know I'll read this in June. It's gonna be Pride month that month, so this is definitely gonna be a June read. For the books I read Sweet Perfection by Kat Cole, and I had so much fun reading this. I thought this was like, it was just such a fun, messy like escape. It wasn't like, it was just right. It was just right because it was like there was drama and there was mess, but it didn't go like dark. It didn't go like too dark. It just went like mess, and it's just like I appreciated that. Like I didn't need, because I was scared for a second because there were moments where there was like a little bit of misogyny that was happening that bordered on being abusive, that I was just kind of like, I just hope hands don't get lifted and people are flying across rooms and stuff. I don't need that. That's not what I wanted in a story. I want to read the next book that comes after it. I just hope things don't escalate in that book. Although there was mention of physical abuse in Love Effects, where one of the characters was in an abusive relationship or has been like physically abused or something like that. With this character, I'm guessing that their story is going to be expanded a bit more, and it might actually explore more of the physical abuse, and I'm like, I don't want all that. I wanted the abuse, but I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to reading the third book. I think Kat Cole's a great writer. I do hope that with more books that she writes, that there would be a copy editor to kind of just clear up some of the writing, kind of make it a little bit more concise. Sometimes, you know, cut like extraneous stuff and just make it a cleaner story. But for the overall, it's a really good story. It's a really great book. I enjoyed it, and I stand Kat Cole. I think she's doing some great stuff, and I'm excited about reading more of her stuff, especially this Miller sister story, because I'm invested in them. I am all like wrapped up in them because I want to see them I want to see them on own network, having their own show, and it's just gonna be mess. Like, manifest that. Like, it's gotta be manifested. Like, I'm speaking it into the universe. It's gotta be manifested. These girls, the Miller sisters, very soul food meets girlfriends, and I want in. I want the show to happen. I want it like on OWN. It could be on HBO, wherever it needs to be, but it's gotta happen. There needs to be a Miller sisters like show. Next book I read An Unkindness of Ghosts. I did not complete it, but I got like really far into it. I am at page 115, 114. I'm enjoying this book a lot. I will finish it. I just needed to move on and read Chamber of Secrets, but I will definitely come back and finish this. I said I was going to read it for March, but I made other plans. I am looking forward to seeing how this plays out. Next, I read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I enjoyed this. I think I enjoyed this more than The Sorcerer's Stone. I feel like the mysteries in both these books are pretty mature. It's just they're kind of like written to be for middle graders. I almost feel like this was executed even better. The mystery was executed even better. We got to like really be a part of the mystery, and that was something after watching the HP Virgins live for The Sorcerer's Stone. They mentioned that for like the climax scene, it just faded to black and we were just told about it. And I will have to agree that like I really didn't think about it when I actually read it, that he just kind of passed out, because I think in my head I was still kind of filtering the book through the movie. With this, there was still like, we got our climax and we got to experience it and we got to enjoy, like get to be a part of it. We got more of like Hogwarts history. I like the character dynamics. I really enjoy J.K. Rowling's writing. I enjoy it a lot. I'm enjoying this world. her writing's kind of inspiring me right now to like want to pick up and just write, because it flows so effortlessly and kind of gives you space to picture the world and picture characters, interactions and stuff, but it's still, to an extent, it's still very descriptive. I do wish at times she would be a little bit more descriptive. I'm still kind of not convinced that, as much as I want to see Hermione as a black girl, I'm not fully convinced that Hermione is a black girl. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to reading Prisoner of Azkaban. I'm hearing some thoughts that Prisoner of Azkaban is really good. People are talking about how great the movie was. I kind of remember how great the movie was, I think. I remember when I first watched Prisoner of Azkaban, I felt like some of the world building was even more expanded and bigger and even more mature than the first two books, so I'm looking forward to reading that. So I had fun reading this. Next, for the book club that I'm a part of, I read Red at the Bone by Jacqueline Woodson, and I enjoyed this a lot. Tapped it up a lot. It was really good. I didn't know what to expect going into it. I really thought it was going to be like a nice, cute little family drama, you know, like story of a family and kind of their dramas. But it's more of a story of different parts of a family's history. Like one of the members of my book club said, it's like little vignettes of just like little like snippets and vignettes of their lives going through the years, from different perspectives. I just really liked it. I love Jacqueline Woodson's writing. It's very poetic but clear. Jacqueline Woodson's words are just so beautiful. I think she's a poet. I've heard about books where she's written poetry and like a lot of verse, so I get a sense of that in reading her work. So I've enjoyed this. It's so layered. It's a very layered book, and the thing about it, it's so short, but there's so much depth and layer to this book, and I'm willing to read it again. I tabbed it up a bunch. Jacqueline Woodson is a New York Times bestselling author for a reason, because she does great work. And I am so glad I finally read a Jacqueline Woodson book. And I did not mind that it was also like a quick read. It was very short because I just needed it. I needed it quick but deep read, and I appreciated it so much for that. Finally, I read Noble Godshots by Brandon Thomas, Roger Robinson, and Juan Fernandez. I would say this as a comic so far in these 4 issues that I read, it would make a nice pitch for a first movie in a action movie series, or like an action superhero movie series, and I would definitely read more of it. I think would have an even bigger impact if it was brought to life. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed the story setup, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes, what else happens. I do think it really would make a fantastic first movie. It does a little time jumping and stuff like that, so I don't know how that's gonna work in a movie, like a first movie for a series, but it's just a pitch for a movie, like a really good pitch for a movie. Like, it's action-packed book on page. It's really good. And I think Noble is fine. They do him fine, y'all. And I started reading Quinn Credible, Quest to Be the Best. I didn't finish it. It reminds me of Static Shock a little bit, but it also reminds me, Spider-Man, not so much. Probably a little bit more Static Shock, but he actually has 2 parents. I like it. Suburban black kid who's just, doing superhero stuff and being a tech whiz. It's a really good book. And I love the art style too. I just like it a lot. It's just clean. I will finish this. For the prompts for Blackathon and Black Loveathon, I really just was not as focused with my February reading for the prompts. Next year it's gonna be, I would like it to be better. I read Black. I read very, very Black. I was very much more focused on reading more stories by Black authors with Black characters. I was just so much more focused on that. Also, I decided to soundtrack my month by listening to music sung by Black women. I started off the month listening to Shea Butter Baby by Ari Lennox and Control by SZA. I already liked Ari Lennox's music. I already heard her Pho EP, and I really liked it, but I also kind of wasn't in the mood at the time that I heard that EP. So when her album finally came out, I liked the singles, I liked her voice. I love her lives that she does on Instagram. I love the clips that I see. I just love her personality already. but I just kind of wasn't sure I was in the mood to listen to her music because it's just so vibey. You know what? Let me just check this out because I'm feeling like I'm in that mood to kind of listen to some vibey. And I was like, yo, let me pull up SZA's album. Let me pull up Summer Walker's record. I remember when Summer Walker used to be on Instagram, like doing, was it lives? Or I don't know. She used to like post videos on her Instagram page of her like before she even really started singing, but like when she was like cleaning people's houses in Atlanta. And I was just like, I thought like Summer Walker was just like the cutest, coolest little thing. So I was just like following her back then. And then it's like come to find out she's like singing it and she gets her record deal. So I was just like, oh, let me check out the album. With Summer Walker, the girl can sing, but everything on like her albums, all her albums going all the way back, any EPs or whatever, everything's just, she can sing, it's great music, but I don't think I'm in the mood to listen to that yet. But with SZA, I really like SZA's S album or mixtape. I'm not sure how to categorize that, but I really like that. But listening to her Control album, I listened to that before, but it's like, ugh, it's so, like, listening to it this time in February, it was so good. That and Shea Butter Baby, they did it all for me. They were amazing. I stand them down. They were amazing. They've really become favorite albums for me. Also for February, I listened to Lion Babe. I listened to their first album. Like I've heard their first album. I think it's Begin is the name of the album. I forgot what the name of the album is. Like I listened to it, but it's just I don't remember the name. I listened to that. I listened to it before, but I listened to it in pieces because I added like some of their more high energy songs to one playlist, and then I added some of their more down tempo vibey stuff to another playlist. So I never like really listened to the album as a whole. So now I listen to it. I listened to their EP that came before that. I listened to some other singles. The lead singer, she is a Black woman. Also for the month, I listened to a lot of Azealia Banks. I know that's my problematic fave, but she will always be my fave. And I listened to Janet Jackson, my all-time favorite. That's my auntie in my head. Like, I love Janet down. And for March, I will also be doing the same thing, listening to a lot more Black women since it's International Women's History Month. So I definitely wanted to listen to more Black women. I listened to some more Azealia Banks. I was also listening to Bree Runway's Ape Shit because she just dropped that, I think, at the ending of February or at least the beginning of March. And I'm so excited about that. My girl Bree is coming up. I am standing down. Come through, Bree Runway, be that girl or whatever. Like, she does her thing. That's my good girlie. I stand her down. What's up? Can't nobody say nothing. Don't you ever come out your mouth sideways about my girl Bree ever. I'm so excited for Ape Shit because it's that girl. Ape Shit is that girl. She's doing her thing. This for my niggas who ain't shit. I'm excited. I'm excited for Bree. Bree's about to blow up this year. I don't care. She's about to blow. My girl is about to blow. I'm waiting. I'm waiting patiently for her album, for her next EP, for her album debut. Like, I want her to win, and I believe in her. I believe she'll win. Pay attention. Bree Runway's coming. I'm a Bree Runway stan account. Period. Understand who I am. I get into me, okay? Get into Bree, okay? What's that? For March, I plan on reading even more Black authors or stories with Black characters, especially Black women. And although I will be reading Prisoner of Azkaban, but I will also be reading Valley of the Dolls because one of my favorite podcasts, Book versus Movie, they are rereading Valley of the Dolls. This was actually the first episode that I've ever listened to of Book versus Movie because, I don't know, I came across their ad on Facebook one time and it was for like their episode of Valley of the Dolls, and I had already read the book, I'd already seen the movie, so I was just kind of like, ooh, this will be an interesting podcast to check out. Ever since then, I've been hooked on Book versus Movie, and now they're redoing this book. I figured like, hey, I'll pick this up, reread it, and see how I feel about it now. And I'm enjoying it. I'm reading it kind of slow. I feel like I should have read it a little faster, but I'm enjoying it. And I really definitely want to watch the movie. She's a big girl. She's a big girl with small font, with like very small font. I remember, I think the first time I read this, it took me like a month, almost 2 months to finish reading it. So I'm trying to read this in less than a month. We'll see. And then two, it's also a book set in 1945 but published in the 60s, so it has very 60s-esque kind of writing. And there was a moment that is just like of its time, but it would be considered very problematic right now that was in there, like some language that was just kind of like, we don't really talk like that much. Like, but I get it for the time because it's not okay, but it's also very much like I get why it happened, why it was in the book, because it is of the time and that is how they talked. It's not okay, but it's also like a thing. So, but I'm looking forward to reading this and rewatching the movie. In March for my book club, we will be reading On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to be about. I think it's going to be about a Vietnamese boy and his mother, or at least writing a letter to his illiterate mother about how she has affected his life. I'm not sure. We're gonna read it. I understand he's a poet, so I'm guessing more poetic prose. I'm just hoping it's prose that I would enjoy, but I'm looking forward to reading that. I'm considering trying to finally read this, because, you know, I just keep putting it off. We'll see. One day I will just not put it off, but for now, we'll see if I get to it this in March, because it is a book written by a Black woman, and I believe the protagonist is a Black woman. I will try to read this, but I know I'll definitely read Black AF, America's Sweetheart, and because it's not that long, and Black superhero, that is a girl, a young woman, so let's get into it. My February was a really good reading month, so it was not terrible, it was not trash. You know, I had a good time. I just hope my March I could do even better than I did before. Also, shout out to Neeks. They shouted me out in their Blackathon wrap-up. And also, Thistle and Verse. Shout out to them because they tagged me in the New Year's tag, I believe, New Year's book tag. So I will definitely be doing that tag. And shout out to them. I found out about them through Onyx Pages. I think she's like so cool, so laid back, so easygoing. It's very chill. So I'm definitely gonna be checking out more of her content. Definitely check out her content. And definitely check out Neeks. Neeks is such a fun personality. She is so cool. I'm just loving and enjoying her personality. I think she's like one of the coolest personalities. I'm so glad she's a part of the community. Shout out to the booktube community. Shout out to the Black booktubers community. It's growing. It's like, we're coming out there, we're doing big things. I definitely want to see more Black content creators and Black men, booktubers and readers just being out there, showing out and being out here, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them, and shout out to Neeks and Thistle and Verse. Love y'all. And also, I want to shout out Jared D. King, because he sent me his, I believe this is his second book, The Octorati. I will be reading this and doing a review, so I'm looking forward to reading this. I have been wanting to read his first book, Pangea, for the longest, but it's just, all these books just be getting in my way, and I just feel like, okay, my mood be switching, the books be switching, all that. So, but I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. I will try to read this as soon as possible. It looks like it's gonna be like some high fantasy in a way, and I'm just like, I'm a little scared because I'm not the high fantasy girl. As long as it's gonna be like real queer, it's gonna be real gay, and it's gonna be real, like there's gonna be mess along with like drama and political intrigue, along with some like fighting and fantasy and all that stuff. I'm here for all of it. Give me the mix, everything, but especially if it's gonna be queer, I'm like, give it to me. Give it to me. Yeah. No one's gonna stop me. Shout out to Madonna for that. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I'm out this bitch like Fleek. The fuck.